that we came to. It's A1800917, if that helps. But
Okay, and then,
basically,
I don't know, perhaps you should go through the spreadsheet first, maybe.
well, actually, it would be easier for me if I went through the bill. This is the part that I read.
All right, that's
quickly
fine.
When I got
Okay.
it this morning, I'm sorry, I apologize, that's what I went through this morning. But it will give you some idea. Excuse me, and then we can potentially answer questions. But we had the million that we had taken from the Senator Stump's program from a couple of years ago for free technical college. There was $1 million left over in that wasn't going to be used. So we applied that, and then we had $3 million additional dollars. So the entire budget's $4 million. And if you start on the first page, the Office of Higher Ed received $500,000. $300,000 of that will go to the state grant program, $100,000 to the agriculture educators loan forgiveness. That was a program we started last year, and we're just putting some additional dollars into it. The student loan debt counseling from Lutheran Social Services received $50,000, and the teacher preparation program design grant, which is another program for to design a program to educate the educators of the blind and visually disabled. And then we go down to Minnesota, the MnSCU board, and they received $3.5 million, and we put the bulk of that into campus support. So $3 million of that goes to campus support. $500,000 of that is going into those workforce development scholarships that we started last year. Then we go on to page 3. There's adding some information that would be required for the partnership on the P20 information. They add some information there. We go through to page 5. That was on top of page 5. There was some additional info for the legal resources that would be added when there's a sexual assault victim. That was a Senator Clausen bill, I believe. Moving to page 7, this, I believe, is some House language where you would be providing information on sexual assault, additional information to the legislative committees. Down at the bottom there's a change in the language, and some of this is technical throughout, but this is change in the language for the underserved teacher program. That goes from page 7 over to page 8. That's some technical things that we did to straighten that out. Bottom of page 8 and through about mid-page on 11 is some OHE language, some technical stuff that we had, that they had asked for. And I believe Ms. Oliver is here if there's some questions on that technical language. Moving on to bottom of page 11, we changed some of those programs, so those, the ag educators, or excuse me, the ag educators loan forgiveness, the spinal cord injury, some of those were made into special revenue funds, and so there's some language there that creates those special revenue funds and moves that money over. On page 12, you see the language for the student debt counseling that we did the $50,000 for. And then moving into page, well, I believe it's the bottom, maybe the bottom of page 13 and into 14, page 14, that's some of that language to create those special revenue funds and allowing them to expend the money out of there. Bottom of page 15 is OHE language. Those are some, and then there's some disclosure language for schools to put some information onto their websites and into their catalogs. Some of that appears on page 19 also. Then we get into the bottom, and this is some, on page 20, on page 20 at the top, there's some of that spinal cord and traumatic brain injury account language that we needed to create those special revenue accounts. We start on section 30 there in page 20, for the RCAC, for the Region Candidate Advisory Council. We've put some language in there so that the congressional district distribution for RCAC is a little better than it is right now. There are several districts that are far overrepresented, and so we're trying to balance that out. We didn't do some of the more extensive language that was proposed at different times this year. So we just did a few little things to hopefully smooth out the process on RCAC. Then on page 21, that explains how the Legislative Coordinating Commission and RCAC can use the information and how they should be getting the information that they're passing on to the legislature regarding those candidates. So just to make sure that they understand exactly what they should be doing, they should be collecting and what they should be doing with that. Then down at the bottom, page 21, I believe it goes over to mid-page 22. That's some technical language for an endowment that we started last year that they needed to, some language to change it. It wasn't working quite the way we had planned, and so they changed it a little bit and made it an endowment as opposed to, I believe it was being a direct appropriation from the Board of Commissioners. That's up north. So, and that was a Thomasoni bill, or actually a Thomasoni amendment, I believe, on the floor is where that came from. And then they're about mid-page on 22, that's where the 1 million from that Minsky two-year public college program is shown. So it's not a, we're just taking that on expended dollars. And then page 20, bottom of page 22 through page 24, that's additional language on the special revenue funds. There's some technical language there. And then on the bottom of page 25, there is, that's a Draheim bill on the textbook, so that the Minsky would come up with some plans on how to create an affordable textbook plan. On the back page on 26, that's the grant program for the blind and visually impaired that had, I can't remember, 100,000 in the beginning we talked about. And then on the bottom, on section 44, I believe that's House language, that's U of M appeal for sexual misconduct, so that there would be, they have an appeals process there.
That's it.
And if you have
That's it.
anything to add,
You
that's
did
it.
well.
Okay.
Representative Nornis.
I couldn't repeat what you just said, so. No, it's actually fairly small, the overall bill.
Can I ask one thing, I guess, before we get into the bill? I know in the House, we had some money for establishing a cybersecurity program at Metro State. I know that originally there was a $5 million recommendation. We then had an amendment in higher ed, or excuse me, in Ways and Means, and actually that reallocated some of that money and made it $1 million. Can I ask Senator Fischbach, did you ever have a hearing on that in the Senate or delve into that subject at all?
No, we did not, Mr. Chair. We did not have any kind of hearings on that, and we felt at this time, that was, I think, part of the discussions that, that our money would be better served, because we did go down, I mean, that was 5 million, I believe, but that it would be better served going to campus support for Minsky.
All right, because I know that there were some people that were really passionate about that program, and I just wanted to ask about that.
Mr.
All
Chair,
right, Representative Nornis.
I would just add that I hope that next year we'd have more time. It is an important issue, and I think more people involved, including the Minnesota state system, everyone needs to kind of buy into this and figure out a way to do it. So, and it will take, again, the resources. Next year's bond is actually a budget year when it may be more appropriate to try and do that.
All right. Okay, well, with that, Senator Rosen.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Chair Norris and Chair Fischbach. On the RECAC Council, just out of curiosity, it's 24 members. Is that sunset, or is that ongoing council that looks for redefinition or reorganizing the boundaries? How does that work?
Talking about
RECAC?
the membership?
The membership, but just the guidelines that the council.
Because they
works
are
through.
term limited. They serve on a term.
They serve on their
the
term,
members,
so it's
yeah.
ongoing work that's being done on the regent's selection. Is that correct?
Senator Fischbach.
And Mr. Chair, Madam Chair, they meet when necessary. So like next year, there will be, I believe, 4 regents up, and they will probably start looking at in September, before we get here, most certainly, they'll be looking at those. But the distribution, it's been, I believe it's 12 by the Senate and 12 by the House, and they haven't necessarily been distributed well congressional district-wise. And since those are done by congressional district, and I'm trying to remember exactly the makeup, and maybe someone can nod, but there was one from the 8th district, and there was very heavy from the 3rd. Yeah, okay, so I am remembering that correctly, so that we can distribute that a little better, so that when those districts do come up, when they have a region to, open, that we have more representation from each of those districts, so everybody's represented better.
And this recommendation, Senator Fischbach, does come from the RECAC Council on page 20, the membership.
Madam
Senator
Chair,
Fischbach.
or Mr. Chair, Madam Chair, know that, I mean, this is something that we came up with.
I see.
All right, Senator Rosen, should we start walking through the language?
Section by section.
Yes, although I think we're going to try to maybe have staff help us with making the recommendations on what language to go forward with this time. I don't know if if we will start with the language or the money, Mr. Hopkins, or Ms. Premio.
Primo.
Mr. Chair, if it's okay, I think starting with the money side.
All right.
Mr. Savory can walk through the spreadsheet.
Okay. Mr. Savory.
Mr. Chair and members, Ken Savory, House Fiscal Analysis. I'll quickly go through the spreadsheet. The chairs did a good summary job of kind of the actual appropriations in the bill, but I'll just do the highlights, so to speak, or the appropriations we had. Looking on line 6 of the spreadsheet, you'll see the reduction of $1 million to the 2-year occupational grant program. Line 7 is the $300,000 one-time appropriation to the Minnesota State Grant Program. Line 8 and 9 represent a transfer of the $3 million in the spinal cord and traumatic brain injury research appropriation to the Special Revenue Fund. So those lines 8 and 9 represent the money going from the general fund to the Special Revenue Fund. Line 11 is the $100,000 appropriation to the Ag Educators Loan Forgiveness Program. Line 12 is a appropriation of $50,000 one time to the Student Loan Debt Counseling Program. And then line 14 is a $50,000 one-time appropriation to the Teacher Preparation Program grant. So in conclusion, for Office of Higher Ed, that would be $1 million reduction in fiscal years 18, and then a $500,000 amount of spending in fiscal year 19. Dropping down to line 17 is Minnesota State. They have 2 appropriations. The first one being on line 19, which is $3 million for campus support. Skipping down to line 20 is a $500,000 appropriation to the Workforce Development Scholarships. And so skipping down to line 24, that is a total of $3.5 million for Min-State on a one-time basis. Further skipping down to line 34, the net general fund spending is $3 million, which is the committee's target or the area's target. And then lines 37 through 43 represent transfers between the 2 accounts, which I mentioned on line 8 and 9, transfers between the general fund and the Special Revenue Fund having to do with the spinal cord and TBI grant program. And Mr. Chair, that concludes the spreadsheet unless there are any questions.
Are there any questions on the spreadsheet? Okay, well, before we go forward with adopting the spreadsheet or language, I think it would be appropriate for me to call upon anyone who wishes to testify. We haven't been approached by anyone who wants to submit testimony, but if there is someone who wishes to testify, we would be happy to have Commissioner Poggemiller testify. Commissioner Poggemiller, welcome to the conference committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members, there's a letter that I had prepared this morning that I hope has been passed out.
It has been distributed.
Thank you. The conference recommendation with regards to policy changes fits within the scope of what the governor could be supportive of, I believe, at least our reading of it. The special revenue account for spinal cord and traumatic brain injury research is excellent. Governor's thrilled you did that, as are the advocates. Unfortunately, the conference recommendation lacks most of the funding recommended by the governor. Only $3 million out of $10 million for campus support at Min-State, none of the $8.5 for their technology upgrades, none of the $10 million for the buy-down of tuition or holding of tuition at the University of Minnesota for undergraduates, and no allowance for the Pell Grant fill-in. One modest item, that last paragraph, is something that I hope the conference would take a look at. There is currently something called a Minnesota Reconnect Program at 4 campuses at Min State, Inver Hills, South Central, Riverland, and Lake Superior. They are working with a $748,000 Lumina grant that we helped them secure, that they were able to get. And some additional resources for this from the Occupational Scholarship Program, the governor had recommended $1.3 million could be used to supplement that Lumina grant. We know that both the House and the Senate chose to allocate that money in a different way. No quarrel with that. But at a minimum, I would suggest that the conference consider reallocating the $300,000 to the state grant program to this Reconnect program. It does not look like the state grant program is going to need additional resources for this biennium. And then finally, some possible transfer language, so we could send some money from interstate reciprocity to that Reconnect program. This would simply supplement some activity that's going on in those 4 campuses for adult learners. Seems to make sense. If there are not supplemental funds, there's the danger that the Lumina grant will be withdrawn. Thank you, Mr.
Commissioner.
Chairman, members.
Any questions for Commissioner Representative Pulaski?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Poggemiller, do any of the statements that you've made today raise to the level of a veto if the bill stays as is for higher education?
Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman, I think at this point, Representative Pulaski, I don't have a clear answer on that.
Representative Pulaski.
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Poggemiller, specifically the fact that there is nothing for the University of Minnesota and the governor had recommended a sizable appropriation for the university, does that indicate that the governor might veto this section of the bill because the University of Minnesota is left out?
Commissioner Poggemiller.
Mr. Chairman, members, I think it'd be fair to say that I did review this wording with the governor's office, and they feel strongly about the request the governor made.
Thank you. Any other questions for Commissioner Poggemiller? All right, thank you, Commissioner Poggemiller.
Thank you.
All right, at this point, we will start the process of considering the language. Oh, Ms. Primo?
Mr. Chair, I don't know if this would get. Okay. Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Okay. Priyanka Primo, Senate Counsel. So I will go through the A180917 doc, section by section, and identify where the language comes from. Section 1 appears in both Senate and House, but this version comes from the House side. Section 2 comes from the Senate. Section 3 appears in both, with the appropriation amounts being different. Subdivision 2 of Section 3 is Senate only. Paragraph B is House only, with a new monetary amount. Section 4 appears in both the House and Senate, as does Section 5. Section 6 is just from the House. Section 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 appear in both the Senate and House versions. Section 17 is House only. Section 18 appears in both, however, there is a technical difference, so this is the House version of the Student Loan Debt Counseling Program. Section 19 is the Senate version, however, these provisions dealing with the special revenue fund accounts appear in both versions of the bill. Similarly, Section 20, 21, and 22, these are the Senate version changes. These are from the Senate. And Section 22 is Senate only. Section 23 appears in both the House and the Senate. Section 24 is Senate only. Section 25 through 27 appear in both the Senate and House versions. Section 28 is from the Senate, however, again, this is a similar provision in both versions. Section 29 through 32, this is new language, however, the Regions Reform provisions were in the House version, and there was a Regions Reform bill introduced in the Senate. Section 33 is Senate only. Section 34, this is the Senate version, but both bills had a similar section. Section 35 is the Senate version, but again, both bills had similar provisions. Section 36 appeared in both the Senate and House. Section 37 is the Senate version of a similar provision. Section 38 through 40 were in both the Senate and House versions. Section 41 is from the Senate. Section 42 appeared in both. Section 43 is from the Senate. Section 44 is from the House, and Section 45 appeared in both.
Thank you, Ms. Primo. All right, Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I do have an amendment. Pass out.
Okay,
Just we can just do it. Mr. Ch-
don't we want to take that up when take it to language? Yeah. Okay.
I didn't move it yet.
Yeah, okay, Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I would like to move Section 1, page 1.6 through 1.18.
1 point, okay,
Excuse me, 1.14.
okay. Senator Rosen, we're getting started on the document that is dated May 11th, 2018, the A18-0917 amendment. Senator Rosen moves page 1, line 6 through page 1, line 14. The appropriations, beginning of the appropriations article. Is there any discussion to that? Seeing none, all in favor of the Rosen motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. Page 1, line 6 through page 1, line 14 is adopted. Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I'd also like to move Section 2, line 1.19 through 1.15 through 2.9, and it is Senate provision on, starting with R1.
Senator Rosen moves page 1, line 15 through page 2, line 9. Senate provision line or page R1. Is there discussion to the Rosen motion? Seeing no discussion, all in favor of the Rosen motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. The Rosen motion to adopt page 1, line 15, page 2, line 9 is adopted. Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move Section 3, page 2, line 10 through 2.27.
Senator Rosen moves page 2, line 10 through page 2, line 27. Is there discussion? And Senator Fischbach or Representative Nornis, if you have anything that you want to be recognized for as we go through this, please let us know. Seeing no discussion, all in favor of the Rosen motion to adopt page 2, line 10 through page 2, line 27, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. Page 2, line 10 through page 2, line 27 are adopted. Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd also like to move section 4, starting on page 2.28 through 4.6, and it is in both House and Senate have this. I believe we're taking section 4, which would be the House language, starting on R4. Actually, R3. Bottom of R3, yes.
Okay, Senator Rosen moves page 2, line 28 through page 4, line 6. Is there any discussion? See no discussion. All in favor of the Rosen motion to adopt page 2, line 28 through page 4, line 6, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. The Rosen motion is adopted. Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move section 5, starting on page 4, line 7, through page 5, line 29. It's in both provisions, starting on R5.
Senator Rosen moves page 4, line 7 through page 5, line 29, which the language begins on page R5. Looks like it's identical between both bodies. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the Rosen motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. The Rosen motion to adopt page 4, line 7 through page 5, line 29 is adopted. Senator Rosen.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to move section 6, page 5, line 30, through page 7, line 19. Its House provision starts on R7.
Senator Rosen moves page 5, line 30 through page 7, line 19. Is there discussion? Seeing no discussion, all in favor of the Rosen motion to adopt page 5, line 30 through page 7, line 19, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. The Rosen motion to adopt page 5, line 30 through page 7, line 19 is adopted. Senator Rosen.
Mr. Chair, I'd move section 7, page 7, line 20, through page 8, line 5. And it starts on R9. House provision.
Senator Rosen moves page 7, line 20 through page 8, line 5. Is there any discussion to the Rosen motion? See no discussion. All in favor of the Rosen motion to adopt page 7, line 20 through page 8, line 5, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. The Rosen motion is adopted. Senator Rosen.
Mr. Chair, I'd move section 9, page 8, line 6 through page 8, line 22, the administration repayment that's found on R9, and it's in both.
Senator Rosen moves section 8, page 8, line 6 through page 8, line 22. Is there discussion to the Rosen motion? See no discussion. All in favor of the Rosen motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. The Rosen motion to adopt page 8, line 6 through page 8, line 22, say aye. Or, excuse me, are adopted. Okay. All right. Senator Rosen.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'd like to move section 9, page 8, line 23, through page 9, line 4. In both provisions, it's found on R10.
Okay, Senator Rosen moves page 8, line 23 through page 9, line 4 on R10. Discussion. See no discussion. All in favor of the Rosen motion to adopt page 8, line 23 through page 9, line 4, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. The Rosen motion is adopted. Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move Section 10, page 9, line 5 through 9.8. It's in both, and it's found on R10.
Senator Rosen moves page 9, line 5 through page 9, line 8. Is there a discussion? Seeing no discussion, all in favor of the Rosen motion to adopt page 9, line 5 through page 9, line 8, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion prevails. The Rosen motion is adopted. Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move Section 11, found on page 9, line 9 through 9.15. It's found in both provisions. It's found on R10.
Senator Rosen moves page 9, line 9 through page 9, line 15. Any discussion? See no discussion. All in favor of the Rosen motion to adopt page 9, line 9 through page 9, line 15, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. The Rosen motion is adopted. Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move Section 12, page 9, line 16 through page 9, line 19. It's found in both. It's found on R10.
Discussion to the Rosen motion. See no discussion. All in favor of the Rosen motion to adopt page 9, line 16 through page 9, line 19, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. The Rosen motion is adopted. Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move Section 13, found on page 12, line 20 through page 9, line 28. It's found in both. It's found on R11.
Senator Rosen moves page 9, line 20 through page 9, line 28. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all in favor of the Rosen motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. The Rosen motion is adopted. Senator Rosen.
Where's the staff?
That's on page 11.
Oh, right there. Okay, got it. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move Section 14, page 10, line 1 through 10.4. It's found on R11, and it's identical.
Senator Rosen moves page 10, line 1 through page 10, line 4. Is there discussion? See no discussion. All in favor of the Rosen motion to adopt page 10, line 1 through page 10, line 4, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. The Rosen motion is adopted. Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move Section 15, found on page 10, line 5 through 10.26. You can find this on R11 going on to R12. It looks identical.
Senator Rosen moves page 10, line 5 through page 10, line 26. Is there discussion? See no discussion. All in favor of the Rosen motion to adopt page 10, line 5 through page 10, line 26, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. The Rosen motion is adopted. Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to move Section 16, page 10.27 through through 11.23, and it looks like it starts on page 12 and finishes on R12 and finishes on R13, and it is identical.
Now, Senator Rosen moves page 10, line 27 through page 11, line 23. Is there discussion? See no discussion. All in favor of the Rosen motion to adopt page 10, line 27 through 11, line 23, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. The Rosen motion is adopted. Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move Section 17, page 11, line 24, through page 12, line 8. It is House language, and it can be found on R13.
Senator Rosen moves page 11, line 24 through page 12, line 8. Is there discussion? See no discussion. All in favor of the Rosen motion to adopt page 11, line 24 through page 12, line 8, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. The Rosen motion is adopted. Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move Section 18, page 12, line 9 through page 13, line 21. This is House provision and can be found on lost my two.
R13
Is it R13?
through R15.
Found through R13 through R15, yes, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Senator Rosen moves page 12, line 9 through page 13, line 21. Is there any discussion? See no discussion. All in favor of the Rosen motion to adopt page 12, line 9 through page 13, line 21, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. The Rosen language, page 12, line 9 through page 13, line 21 is adopted. Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move section 19, page 13, line 22 through 13.31. It is Senate language, but what's found in both, and it starts on R15.
Senator Rosen moves page 13, line 22 through page 13, line 31.
Yes.
And I guess is there discussion? I guess I've got a question I wanted to ask. I see that we are, with this language, and I think some others, saying the appropriation does not cancel and is available until expended. Do we have any sense for how much money's in that account? And I guess why are we doing that as opposed to canceling it like we usually do?
And Mr. Chair, I do not have the information regarding how much is in that account. I don't know if Commissioner Pogmiller is still here. He's not, he's saying, so I'm sorry, I can't answer the question about how much is in there. Oh,
Sorry, Mr. Erickson?
Mr. Erickson can, I
Yes,
guess.
Mr. Chair, there's no more than a couple of $100,000 that go in any given year, and then it's spent down relatively quickly. These sections are actually in the bill, not because we're trying to extend the availability and not cancel these funds the way they normally will. By statute, they already don't cancel. What we're really doing is moving those funds from the general fund to the special revenue fund, just to conform to budget rules, which insist that funds from the general fund must cancel at a date certain. And this is moving them into the special revenue fund, so they'd be allowed to carry forward until expenditure.
Okay, and I just had an offline conversation with Mr. Marks that he says that, yeah, because these are special revenue funds, we often do have them not cancel in a case like this. So, okay, thank you for that information. Other discussion? Senator Newman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do have a question on this teacher shortage loan forgiveness program. It appears on section 20. It also, there's a section 37 that is on it. And you have to please forgive me, I'm not on education, so I'm not familiar with it. But is there, can somebody tell me why we have a program that singles out teachers as a shortage, and that particular profession receives the benefit of a loan forgiveness? And are there similar loan forgiveness in statute for other, really important professions like law enforcement or mental health or, doctors? I'm just not at all familiar with that. And I'm wondering, why are we singling out teachers unless there's loan forgiveness procedures elsewhere in the statute where folks who are also professionals would incur higher education costs?
Mr. Chair.
Senator Fischbach.
Mr. Chair, Senator Newman, there are a variety of loan forgiveness programs. I believe there's nursing, and in this one, there was the ag educators that appears in this bill. And this is actually, and I was just quickly going through, this is actually specifically designed for teachers in those underserved areas. And the fact that it shows up in here is simply because of the special revenue fund issue that we're moving it over. So it's existing, and it's for those teachers who are going to underserved areas.
Mr. Chairman.
Senator Newman.
Then Senator Fischbach, if we're dealing with areas that are underserved, do teachers then have to move into that area, the geographical area or that particular school, and because they're there, then they qualify for the loan forgiveness? Is that how it works?
Senator Fischbach.
Mr. Chair, Senator Newman, potentially, and I apologize, I can't find the language right here. I don't know the exact specifications of the requirements on the loan forgiveness at this point.
Okay.
But it looks like Commissioner Pogomiller is shaking his head on this one, on this question, or are you answering a different question? So I couldn't tell you this. Maybe Ms. Oliver would be willing to help us out on the specifics of that program from OHE.
Senator Newman, another area I think is aviation. We have some
Yep.
loan forgiveness because there's a need to kind of get people interested in aviation.
Yeah, and to that point, actually, we have three of them coming up here. We have the motion that Senator Rosen has made related to the aviation fund. We have the upcoming section that Senator Newman referenced relating to teachers, and then the section after that talks about large animal veterinarians. And these aren't creating new programs, they're just basically moving them into special revenue funds. But those are, I certainly understand your question, Senator Newman.
And I'm just, Mr. Chairman, I'm just not familiar with it, and so I just wanted to know. And I really do appreciate the information. I understand shortages in various professions and why we want to try and encourage people to get into those. You know, I think, for instance, physicians in rural Minnesota are pretty tough to come by. And so maybe to lure them into outstate Minnesota, we'd want to do something like that. That's the real reason for my question.
And
Senator
Mr. Chair.
Fischbach.
Mr. Chair, Ms. Oliver is available if you wanted some of those specifics, but there are a variety of those loan forgiveness programs, and we can follow up and get you more information on all of them that are available, but there's numerous loan forgiveness programs.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Senator Fischbach.
Any other discussion? Senator
You
Kiffmeyer.
lucked out.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I've served on the Healthcare Workforce Commission and also currently on the Governor's Rural Health Advisory Committee as well. And one of the things we found over the last year is that loan forgiveness is the most positive, working, effective incentive to help rural Minnesota in any of these professions. And this way, we at least know they're already going into it, they like it, versus trying to get them to go to the program, then they sometimes find out when they're in it, they don't like it. But this way, they've graduated, they're already going to, and we incentivize them with this loan forgiveness. It is an effective way to use our dollars to help rural Minnesota.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, Senator Rosen renews her motion to adopt page 13, line 22 through page 13, line 31. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. The Rosen motion is adopted. Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move Section 20, page 14, line 1 through 14.7. It's Senate version on R15.
Senator Rosen moves page 14, line 1 through page 14, line 7. Is there discussion? Seeing no discussion, all in favor of the Rosen motion to adopt page 14, line 1 through 7, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. The Rosen motion is adopted. Senator Rosen.
That's a weak aye.
Mr.
Mr. Chair,
On this one, there is a technical amendment that I don't know how you want to, okay, just making
All
sure.
right. Senator Rosen, why don't you move the motion and we'll bring up the amendment.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to move Section 21, page 14, line 8 through 14.18. It's on count, you can be found on R15 through 16, and there is an amendment that perhaps Mr. Nauman can address.
Okay, Senator Rosen moves page 14, line 8 through page 14, line 18, and I believe there's a technical amendment. Mr. Nauman.
Yes, Mr. Chair, on line 14.7 in the original language, sorry, my apologies.
Page 14, line
14.17, my apologies. In the existing language, the recommendation would be to strike "made to the program" and insert "from the account." I think this would clarify the intent of what's being done in the overall section. So it would read, "Appropriations from the account do not cancel and are available until expended."
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make that oral amendment.
Okay, can you state that again, Mr. Nauman?
Certainly, Mr. Chair. On line 14, in the existing language,
Oh, I
Line
see.
17.
sorry, I keep doing that, 14.17. In the existing language, strike "made to the program" and insert "from the account."
Okay. Senator Rosen incorporates that oral amendment into her motion. Is there discussion to the Rosen amendment? See no discussion, all in favor of the Rosen motion to adopt page 14, line 8 through page 14, line 18 with the oral amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. The Rosen amendment is adopted. Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move section 22, page 14, line 19 through 15.18, page 15, line 18. It's found on R16, and it is Senate version.
Senator Rosen moves page 14, line 19 through to page 15, line 18. And that is, which page did you say that was on the side-by-side?
R15.
R15?
Six, where am I?
R16.
R16, excuse me.
Oh, got it, okay. All right, discussion to the motion. See no discussion, all in favor of adopting the Rosen motion, page 14, line 19 through page 15, line 18, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails, the Rosen language is adopted. Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move section 23, page 15, line 19 through 16.31. It's found on R17, additional security. It's found on both house. It's identical.
Senator Rosen moves page 15, line 19 through page 16, line 31. Discussion. See no discussion, all in favor of the Rosen motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails, the Rosen motion is adopted.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move.
Excuse me, Senator Rosen, we've just been given a call of the House. We're going to have to go into a temporary recess.
Okay.
We are in recess. Welcome back, everyone. We were on the amendment, page 15, line 19. And Senator Rosen, when she's ready. Page 15, line 19, section 23.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Mr. Chair, I'd like to move section 24, page 17, line 1 through page 17, line 4 on the R18.
Okay, I think, Senator Rosen, I'm not sure, have we adopted section 23 yet? Can staff help us with that? We did adopt section 23. I didn't think so.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I'd like to move section 23, page 15, line 20, or page 15, line 19 through,
Maybe we did.
we did already?
I
Okay.
guess we got enough nodding heads from staff that we will agree we have adopted section 23. So, okay, we'll move on to section 24.
Okay,
Rep. Senator Rosen.
Mr. Chair, I renew my motion on section 24, page 17, line 1 through page 17, line 4 on the R18 revision.
Senator Rosen moves section 24, page 17, line 1 through page 17, line 4. And Senator Rosen, where is that on the language? Do you know what page that's on by chance? Looks like it's
R18.
R18 or R21?
R18.
R18.
Yeah,
All right.
on the left
Okay.
side.
All right, discussion to that motion. See no discussion, all in favor of the Rosen motion to adopt page 17, lines 1 through 4, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails, the Rosen amendment is adopted.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to move section 25, page 17, line 5 through page 19, line 20. You can find this on R18 through R20. It is found both in the House and Senate, identical.
All right, Senator Rosen moves page 17, line 5 through page 19, line 20. Is there any discussion? See no discussion, all in favor of the Rosen motion to adopt page 17, line 5 through page 19, line 20, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails, the Rosen motion is adopted. Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move Section 28, page 19, line 21 through page 20, line 7. You can find that on R21. It is the Senate language.
Okay, Senator Rosen moves page 19, line 21 through page 20, line 7. Any discussion to that motion? Senator Kiffmeyer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On line 20.6, I believe it is, there is another do not cancel and are available until expended. Could we have a understanding about that context?
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Nauman.
Thank you, Senator Kiffmeyer. I think the recommendation here on line 20.6 after account would be to insert a period and then begin, after the period, insert appropriations from the account and then continue with the existing language. This would be akin to what we did in the previous section.
I'm sorry, so you have a technical amendment you're suggesting, Mr. Nauman?
Mr. Chair, yes. So
Okay,
just
can
to
you-
repeat it again, on line 20.6, after account, insert a period, and then after the period, insert appropriations from the account, and then continue with the existing language.
Okay. Council has that technical amendment. Senator Rosen incorporates that technical amendment into her motion. Are you, do we have that, Council? Yes, okay, we have it. Senator Kiffmeyer, are you okay with that?
Mr. Chair, I'm okay with that adjustment. I think my question has more to do with the question you asked previously about these being available until expended. And there was an explanation, but I don't remember what it was, and I don't know if it's pertinent for this particular piece of the proposal.
I believe the explanation is that we're transferring this so that's now a special revenue fund. And because it's a special revenue fund, we're treating it that way. Mr. Nauman, is that correct?
Mr. Chair and Senator Kiffmeyer, that's correct.
Okay.
That clears it up. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Kiffmeyer. Other discussion? Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair, there is actually one small change from the other versions that are doing this. This isn't just these aren't taking funds that are already available until expended and just conforming them to budget rules. This does represent a policy decision that was based on the idea that some of these funds going to research in these spinal care and traumatic brain injury grants, the money can't get out fast enough for those research grants, and so the policy decision is actually to make the funds available until expended. And that's why on the spreadsheet, you'll see those transfers represented on lines 8, 9, and 37 to 43. That's reflecting the actual continuation of those funds or the availability of those funds in perpetuity.
Thank you. Other discussion to the Rosen motion? See no discussion. All in favor of the Rosen motion to adopt page 19, line 21 through page 20, line 7 with the incorporated language on page 20, line 6, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. The Rosen language is adopted. Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I would like to move section 29 through 32 on page 20.8 through 21.22, which is new language, and it's on R22.
Senator Rosen moves page 20, line 8 through page 21, line 22. This is language relating to the Regent Advisory Council. Discussion.
Oh, Mr. Chair, I do have an amendment, too.
Oh, and there is an amendment, Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I do have the A216 amendment. And members, it was passed out, I believe. And basically on page 21, line 1, delete after final and just put in on or after July 1st, 2018. So we're taking final enactment, moving it out to July 1st, 2018.
Okay, does everyone have a copy of that amendment? Okay, let's see. Oh, I guess we've got some here to pass out. All right. While we're passing that out, I guess Senator Rosen, I'd like to bring up a question I have regarding Section 31. And there's language in there that says, in making recommendations, the council shall only consider that information learned in candidate interviews or provided to the council by the Legislative Coordinating Commission. And I think I know why that language is in there in terms of how it relates to a candidate that we had who had some, unfortunate, I guess, perhaps false information that was out there. But I'm wondering if we want to put this in law and say that we don't ever want to consider any other information we might learn outside of the process. I don't know, Senator Fischbach or Representative Nornes, can you speak to that?
Mr. Chair, I think we felt, we were talking about, in the beginning, we were talking about more significant reforms. And this was one thing that came to light where there was, people calling and making calls to neighbors and things like that. And we just want to make sure that that we understand, these candidates understand what's going to happen, what kind of information is going to be available about them, and how that is going to be gathered. And I think that, yes, I would like to see it in law just to make sure that we are, fulfilling those obligations we have to folks that do put their name into consideration, because we should be treating them with respect. And there was several, we heard the story that they weren't being treated with respect, and I'd like to make sure that they are when they offer up their name to become a regent.
Well, Senator Fischbach, what if you were to, or someone was to find out other information about a candidate from, I don't know, some other source? What if there's a newspaper article that comes out, which I guess wouldn't be covered by this? And it had some information we thought was considered pertinent, would we not consider that information?
Mr. Chair, this is only the council. This is only RCAC. It does not limit what the legislature can, if there's an article, they could hand out the article. It is what RCAC can do, not necessarily the legislature.
Mr. Chair, I think some of this came out during testimony in my committee, the Higher Ed Committee in the House. That in the past, there's been some almost extreme efforts made to do some of these background checks. So we just think that it needs to be reasonable, thorough but reasonable.
Other discussion on this issue or others? Senator Kiffmeyer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. To me, it's more the practical feasibility. How do you restrict somebody being able to have been handed information or that they shall consider only that information? I look at it more as how can you even possibly do that in a practical way? Maybe Senator Fischbach has some insight to that.
Other discussion? I guess I'm wondering, Senator Rosen, would you be willing to amend your motion to, for now, stop at page 21, line 2, and just take up sections 29 and 30?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I would be more than happy to renew my motion for just sections 29 and 30.
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Sorry, Senator Fischbach.
Mr. Chair, may I ask, would you be coming back to this, or are you just eliminating it completely?
Oh, I'd come back to it in a moment, Senator Fischbach.
All right, thank you.
I guess I want to at least get this other stuff done. And then I guess actually we'd be really including the, okay, so let's see, Senator Rosen withdraws her motion, and now Senator Rosen moves sections 29 and 30, page 20, line 8 through page 21, line 2. And we have the A216 amendment that's been passed out. And this, as was mentioned before, would just basically move the enactment date to July 1st instead of the date following final enactment. Do you want to just incorporate that into your motion, Senator
Yes, I would.
Rosen?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Senator Rosen incorporates the A216 amendment. Discussion to the Rosen amendment. See no discussion, all in favor of the Rosen motion to adopt page 20, line 8 through page 21, line 2 with the A216 amendment incorporated, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. The Rosen amendment language is adopted. And why don't we also do section 32 perhaps, Senator Rosen? I don't think there's any controversy about that.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to move section 32, page 21, line 16 through page 21, line 22.
Discussion to the Rosen motion. See no discussion, all in favor of the Rosen motion to adopt section 32, page 21, line 16 through 21, line 22, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. The Rosen language is adopted. So I guess we can go back to this discussion on this point I raised that Senator Kiffmeyer also raised. I guess everyone is fully here now in section 31. Do you want to do that now, Senator Rosen, or should we go through the rest of it? What would your preference be in terms of dealing with it? Okay. All right, we'll go through the rest of it and then come back to it in the interest of time. Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to move. Just do that one?
No, we did that one, yes.
Okay. I would like to move section 33, page 21, line 23 through page 22, line 14. You can find this on R 24 and 25.
Senator Rosen moves page 21, line 23 through page 22, line 14. Discussion to that motion. Any discussion? Senator Newman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Senator Fischbach, could you explain that provision regarding the county scholarship endowment account? I'm just not familiar with it.
And Mr.
Senator
Chair,
Fischbach.
Senator Newman, this is actually, my understanding, and this was a program that was established last year. It was a scholarship fund that the Board of County Commissioners in northern Minnesota, and I'm looking to staff, if they can remember more of the details, they can come up. But what they ran into issues, the way that it was being handled, and they needed to change it to this endowment. So it's a little bit of a technical thing so that they are able to expend those funds the way they should be able to, according to other statutory language. It is a Thomasoni provision that he offered on the floor.
Thank you, Senator Fischbach. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I got distracted there.
And Mr. Chair.
Senator
it's-
Fischbach.
It was, Senator Thomasoni offered it at Representative Rukavina's request. If that helps or hurts any, I don't know.
Oh, boy.
Roll call.
You said you're in favor of this provision, right, Senator Fischbach?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Any other discussion to the Rosen motion? See no discussion, all in favor of the Rosen motion to adopt page 21, line 23 through page 22, line 14, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. The Rosen language is adopted. Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to move section 35 on, excuse me.
Yeah, I think.
Okay. Okay. I'd like to move section 34 on page 22, line 15 through 28 of the same page. It's identical, and it is found on R25.
R25, thank you. Senator Rosen moves page 22, line 15 through page 22, line 29. Discussion to the Rosen amendment. See no discussion. All in favor of the Rosen amendment adopting page 22, lines 15 through 29, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. The language is adopted. Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I'd like to move section 35, which is a spinal cord injury, traumatic brain injury research grant program on section 35, page 22 through 30. Also, I'd like to move section 37 through 40, which is the teacher preparation program design grant, and And the veterinarian? I'm getting there. And the teacher shortage loan forgiveness, the large animal veterinarian loan forgiveness program, the ag educators loan forgiveness program, and the aviation degree loan forgiveness program. And those are found on R25 through R28. So hopefully that's a little clear as mud.
So Senator Rosen, you're moving sections 35, 37, 38, and 39, and 40, but not 36. Is that
Exactly.
correct?
Exactly.
Okay. All right, so Senator Rosen moves page 22, line 30, through page 23, line 11, and then page 24, line 3, through page 25, line 2. Discussion of the Rosen motion. Is there any discussion? See no discussion, all in favor of the Rosen motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails, the Rosen motion is adopted. Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move section 36, page 23, line 12 through page 24, line 2. You can find that on R26, and it does look identical.
Okay, Senator Rosen moves page 23, line 12 through page 24, line 2. Discussion to the Rosen amendment, or motion. Seeing no discussion, all in favor of the Rosen motion to adopt page 23, line 12 through page 24, line 2, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails, the Rosen language is adopted.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to move section 41, page 25, line 3 through page 25, line 26, and that's the Senate provision on R26.
Senator Rosen moves page 25, line 3 through page 25, line 26. And you said what page is that on? R26?
R26, right. Mhm.
I'm not sure if I see it on page R26. Oh, R28. Okay. Okay, it is on our page R28.
My apologies.
Yep, okay. Discussion to the Rosen motion. See no discussion. All in favor of the Rosen motion to adopt page 25, line 3 through page 25, line 26, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. The Rosen language is adopted. Senator Rosen.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to move section 42 on page 25, line 27 through page 26, line 4. You can find that on R28 through R29.
Okay, if Senator Rosen moves page 25, line 27 through page 26, line 4. Is there any discussion to the Rosen motion? See no discussion, all in favor of the Rosen motion to adopt page 25, line 27 through page 26, line 4, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails, the Rosen language is adopted. Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move section 43, page 26, line 5 through 26.14. It's House language. You can find that on R29.
I think it may actually be Senate language, Senator Rosen, but that's okay. I think it's still good language.
I'm sorry, it is Senate language. Yes, yes, I put down home.
Senator Rosen moves page 26, line 5 through page 26, line 14. Any discussion to the Rosen motion? Seeing no discussion, all in favor of the Rosen motion to adopt page 26, line 5 through page 26, line 14, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. The Rosen language is adopted. Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move section 44, page 26, line 15 through page 26, line 23. That is found on R29, and that is the House language.
Senator Rosen moves page 26, line 15 through page 26, line 23. Any discussion to the Rosen motion? See no discussion. All in favor of the Rosen motion to adopt page 26, lines 15 through 23, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails, the Rosen language is adopted. Senator Rosen.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to move Section 45, page 26, line 24 through 27. It's on both. It's a repealer. Find that on R29 through R30.
Senator Rosen moves page 26, lines 24 through 27. And can staff tell us what the repealer is? Ms. Primo?
Mr. Chair, these repealers are from the OHE Agency Technical Policy Bill, and my understanding is that they are repealing some outdated statutes related to federal programs.
All right.
Mr. Chair and members, some of this language is also being moved from the repealed statute into current law. You can see that on page 8, section 9 of the amendment regarding eligible students. So part of that statute, some of that statutory language that's being repealed is simply being moved into another place in statute.
All right. Any discussion to that motion? Seeing no discussion, all in favor of the Rosen motion on the repealer language, page 26, lines 24 through 27, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. The Rosen language is adopted. Let me just confer with Senator Rosen a second. Thank you. All right, we're reconvening the conference committee. Senator Rosen, do you have a motion, proposed amendment or motion for us?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to amend Section 31 and delete line 4 on page 21 through line 9. So delete the subdivision A.
So you'd like to move page 21, line 3 through page 21, line 15, but not include lines 4 through 9?
Exactly. That's my motion, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so you're just deleting the new language on lines 7 through 9. Okay, discussion on that.
Chair.
Senator Newman.
One more time, please.
Okay, so basically, it's page 21, line 3 through page 21, line 15, but not the new language on lines 7 through 9.
7, Mr. Chairman, new
Page
language
21
7 through
lines.
9 is being deleted.
Senator Newman, what?
The new language on line 7 through 9 is being deleted. Is that the motion?
That's the motion, yes.
Thank you.
Discussion to that motion, Senator Fischbach.
I reluctantly agreed to it because I don't think this is as big a deal as it's being made into, but like I said, I reluctantly agreed to it.
Okay, well, thank you, Senator Fischbach, and I guess there are people on our side that have some concerns about it. I guess I would just say that, you know, while we want to get this to the reviser, you know, it's certainly possible that this could end up getting reopened at some point, and if there's other ideas on how to deal with it, or people change their minds, we can revisit it. Other discussion on the Rosen motion? See no further discussion. All in favor of the Rosen motion, page 21, line 3 through page 21, line 15, but excluding the new language on lines 7 through 9, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. The Rosen motion is adopted. And with that, we're done with this article for now. Did we, Senator Rosen, do you know, did we adopt the spreadsheet? I'm trying to remember.
No, we did not, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Senator Rosen,
Mr.
do you
Chair,
want to make that motion?
Yes, I would move the Articles 1 through 2 in the House and the Articles 18 through 19 of the Senate on the fiscal spreadsheet.
Okay, you've heard,
Yes.
and to,
And I would make a motion to allow the House and Senate to make technical arrangements as need be.
Senator Rosen moves the spreadsheet as of May 11th, 10:36 a.m., and moves that staff be instructed to make technical corrections as needed. Is there discussion to that motion? Seeing no discussion, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion prevails. The Rosen amendment, Rosen motion is adopted. All right, for now at least, members, I think that we're done with the higher ed article.